What is up, my friends? Monday's here, new standards here. I'm super excited, and you should be too. The standard format was already awesome with Guilds of Ravnica. It's been kind of a renaissance in standard lately, and I think things are about to get even better. This new set, Ravnica Allegiance, looks awesome. There are a ton of awesome cards in it for the whole spectrum, from aggressive decks to control decks to combo decks to mid-range decks, you name it. Just tons of awesome cards, revitalizing old archetypes and creating new archetypes, and it's going to be really, really cool. I'm stoked. I can't wait to dive in. And what better way to dive in than going straight to the face? So this was a deck that was actually a deck before the set came out. That's right. This is like a tier 2, tier 3 deck, Rakdos Burn. You know, it was played online a bit. Never really had a huge finish. It was definitely a deck in the format. So it stands to reason that if we have a deck that's not currently supported by the guilds that are available, once Rakdos comes out, things get better. And boy, did they get better. So, of course, we get Blood Crypt. You know, no more Cinder Barons. I do love Cinder Barons. And we get a whole bunch of new cards as well as a new mechanic. So, the Spectacle mechanic is tailor-made for a burn deck. Spectacle says you may cast a spell for its Spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. So, naturally, it pushes you to be aggressive. Rakdos is a pretty aggressive guild. But it's hard to understate how good this mechanic is in a burn deck. You know, we're playing a regular mid-range deck, and we have to shock our opponent to trigger our Spectacle effect. It doesn't feel great. You know, shock is more of a removal spell than a burn spell. But in this deck, we're sending most of our stuff upstairs anyway, so it's fine. So many burn spells in the deck. Very, very easy to trigger Spectacle at all times. We have a few new Spectacle cards. The first one here is Light Up the Stage. And this card is very, very good. I misread this card at first. Maybe you did too. I thought you had to play both cards you reveal off Light Up the Stage on the turn you cast it. They actually persist through your turn, into your opponent's turn, to the end of your next turn. So you have 2 turn cycles to play them, which is fantastic because typically these sort of Chandra Zero, Outpost Siege style effects can leave you with cards that are stranded. You know, you have 4 available mana, and you hit a 3-drop and a 2-drop, and you can't cast them both. You know, so to have the ability to play some stuff now and then some stuff later makes this card essentially just 1 red, draw 2 cards. You know, Thoughtcast, if you will. And for an aggressive deck, that's just awesome. Very, very powerful card. I think this card's probably good enough for Modern too, because of that timing issue, or non-issue. Also have the more simple Skewer the Critics. I mean, this card is just Lightning Bolt, with Spectacle. Pretty simple design, but very, very powerful. Again, Spectacle's going to be on most of the time, making this just a literal Lightning Bolt. I guess Chain Lightning in Standard, and it's not too complicated to explain why that is good. And, of course, the fail state of being 3 mana is not that bad. So we got that. We also have a very exciting card in Theater of Horrors, one of my favorite cards in the set. Taking a mana off of the usual Outpost Siege, Experimental Frenzy, Chandra equation, making it only 3 mana. And again, same thing, the cards for this persist. So it's not like Chandra Zero, I can't play this card this turn. It's up, it'll be there later. So, very, very powerful card. Very great way to get card advantage in a deck like this, where most of our cards, do very similar things. This is essentially just draw 2 cards a turn. And it even has an activated ability that deals damage too, so it can trigger itself. But triggering this card will not be too difficult. So, very, very powerful card. We're playing 3. Might want more, might want less, not exactly sure, but the card is very powerful. Very, very powerful. Otherwise, we have all the good burn cards in the format. One thing about Standard right now is there's a huge critical mass of 3 damage burn spells. We have Lightning Strike. We got Wizard's Lightning. We got Skewer the Critics. We have Sovereign's Bite, a card you may have not picked in a M19 draft. Yeah, well, this is Lightning Helix, basically. So, that's 16 Lightning Bolts. Then, of course, we have Shock and Pyromancer, and then Firebrand and Lavarunner, which are, little 1-drops to get a few points of damage in. Everything has haste or deals damage. This is a pretty serious burn deck. I think this is going to be one of the better decks in the format. Mana base, 21 lands, 2 swamps. The swamps aren't great, but I think this is the mana base you want to run for now. Light up a stage helps you find some lands, so that's pretty cool. Sideboard's got a lot of the usual suspects. Direfleet, Daredevil, very good in mirror scenarios or against spell-based Izzet decks. Lava Coil just to kill stuff. Killing larger things is important. The new Drill Bit is a nice card against control decks. It's possible we want more of these, but we're leaving it at 2 for now because we have other cards good against control. This card's very good. It's essentially just a Thoughtseize in a Spectacle deck, and that's a nice tool to have. Turbo Fog, things of that nature. Pestilent Spirit, the most interesting card in the sideboard. This is a card that, a 3/2 Menace Death Touch for 3 isn't bad. This turns all your shocks into Doomblades, which is really good against the bigger green decks, the Rhythm of the Wild decks or Galta decks. Being able to shock a Galta and kill it feels pretty nice, and it, of course, can also block an attack too. So, pretty excited about this new card in the context of this deck. Seems to be tailor-made. Chainwhirler against go wide decks. Guttersnipe against control decks that are relying on cards like Seal Away and Settle the Wreckage and the new Azorius Charm. Doesn't have to attack. Turns all your bolts into lava axes. And of course, Banefire, when you got to finish off that control deck. So, deck seems great. I'm super excited. I think this is going to be a serious player in the new format. We're going to play a traditional constructed league here on Arena. It's best 2 of 3. And you play until you have 5 wins or 2 losses. So, let's go. Should be an exciting time to play. Everyone's got the new cards and they're brewing new decks, and it should be pretty sweet. All right, we are on the draw with a 1-lander. However, we have multiple 1-drops and a light up a stage. I'm gonna keep this end. Golgari Guildgate, and we drew a land anyway, so we're great. So we need to look at Firebrand or Lavarunner here. When you're making this decision, you need to decide how fast Lavarunner is going to turn on. We're probably just playing Pyromancer next turn, and then playing a few spells the turn after. I'm going to Firebrand here to get the guaranteed point. I'm not sure what our opponent's playing. Obviously, Golgari Guildgate is a little off. Isn't that cool? A little off kilter. If they're just playing green-black, they probably have blockers too. There you go. So, all right, so that needs to die. Okay. So, obviously, I have to kill the walker. Cannot let it live. Right now, Skewer the Critics is the only card that kills it by itself. I think we're just going to shock them to turn on the spectacle effect. It kind of sucks, but we still get to attack for 1, and they take 2 anyway, so they're kind of just taking 3 anyway, and I'm not going to ping them to turn it on. I'd rather just shock and keep the creature in play. So, it's awkward for sure, but my cards are literally on fire. Isn't Arena great? Like, it's awesome. Now we also have 2 spells in our graveyard, so our Lavarunner is Haste. Nothing? Wow. Alright, so we get to just slam jam here. God, that looks cool. I guess I didn't need to cast the Pyromancer first. I should have played that in attack and then played it, but whatever. Mild sequencing error. Alright, looks like our opponent's super dead here. Let's attack first and see what happens. Playing Theater of Horrors ASAP is usually the correct play. They're like almost dead though. I think we're still just going to play it. Could have gone for the kill there. Light up a Sage into a 1-mana burn spell and a land, but we'll just get Theater in play. I don't think much can go wrong in this game anyway, but if they had some sort of like I don't even know what they could have. A Chupacabra. Alright, so they are super dead. Exile land and another Sovereign's Bite. Alright, so let's give them the old bite skis. And we'll fire off the light up stage. So again, this is a spot where light up a stage is really, really cool. Because we can light up a stage with only one extra mana available. And if we hit things we can't cast, we'll just cast them next turn. You know, again, it's hard to understate how important the you may play those cards until the end of your next turn part is, and my card is still on fire, and that's awesome. Pyromancer, Lightning Strike, sure. So we'll just play the Mountain of the Theater. And I think I feel fine. I can hit both here. If they just block the Firebrand and go to 1, I mean, they're just dead no matter what. Whatever, attack. Feels like a pretty free attack. They could just block the Firebrand and go to 1, but either way, we're just going to die next turn to our multitude of burn spells. Once they go literally, you know, land, Walker, Jade Light, and they get to gain 8, and we still have 8 points of burn in our hand. Sure. Yeah, that's all pretty good. So, Pyromancer, play with land, Lightning Strike, Lavarunner, Sovereign's Bite. Major overkill here. Major overkill. Okay. So, green-black is going to be important that we kill Wild Growth Walker. That is definitely the most important thing. But as far as sideboarding, there's honestly not much I want to do. I could see maybe bringing in a Lava Coil or two, just to try and ensure that we kill Wild Growth Walker. But for the most part, you know, I don't want to Thoughtseize, I don't want Banefire, I don't want Gutterball. Chainwhirler is not good. Direfleet doesn't have much to do. We don't need Pestilent Spirit. They're not playing the huge, huge creatures, you know? So bring in 2 Lava Coils, and we're going to cut probably Sovereign's Bite. I could see shaving a Wizard's Lightning, too. You know, they're more likely to kill my creatures. I mean, I think it's actually Wizard's Lightning. Actually, no, because lightning also kills Wild Growth Walker. Alright, let's cut 2 Sovereign's Bites. Just giving us a little more removal and a little more action against Wild Growth Walker, which is the card they're going to beat us with if they have it. So, this deck definitely feels like you're playing Modern in a standard format, which is pretty cool. This hand's not very good. So, kind of similar to Modern Burn, where you have your burn spells and you have your recurring damage sources. So, you know, Modern Burn has Goblin Guide, Swift Spear. We have, you know, the 2/1 and our 1-drops. And then we have Theater of Horrors, where Modern Burn has Eidolon. And then we have a bunch of bolts. And a hand like if it's in this hand in Modern, if it's just 4 lands, Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt, it's usually a mulligan. Because you're just not, you need, you know, this is only 9 damage basically. Question is, do I want to mulligan this hand? If we draw a land, it feels awful. If we draw a spell, it feels fine. We do have multiple answers to Wild Growth Walker, which I think is important. I'm going to keep. This is really, really on the edge. And it's possible this should just be a mulligan. But I'm going to keep, have a little faith. We're only playing 21 lands. And we didn't draw a land. Thank heaven for small miracles. Alright. I'm going to play the Crypt Tapped. I think it's highly doubtful we're shocking something on turn 2 here. Sure. Contempt. Alright. So now we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14 damage. But, you know, we might need to start to shock their creatures. Jade Light Ranger. So I think we're casting Shock here. The question is, what are we shocking? We can shock the Branchwalker, or we can shock the Jade Light with the trigger on the stack. I I think it's probably just a Branch Walker. This may not be a 4/3. Assassin's Trophy, like that card's really bad. I imagine they're gonna bin it. And then they hit a land. Okay. So this is fun. Again, this is kind of the problem where if your hand is all burn spells and you have to use burn spells to kill their creatures, that kind of sucks because you're not hitting the critical mass you need. So we're gonna keep killing stuff here. Lava Coil obviously can only kill things, so okay. We're going to mostly ignore Karn. They can have that Midnight Reaper. Okay. We have 2 spells in the bin. Lava Runner's live. I like that. And then we're going to ignore Karn. Karn is far too much work to kill. They can have their card. I don't really care. Do I want to cast any of these Skewer the Critics? 3, 6, 9, 12. I don't think so. We're not really in any rush. Casting 1 might be okay because we'll still have Lightning Strike up, but okay. So I think I'm fine killing you gotta activate your Karn first, my friend. Kind of tempted to give them the Reaper. Now let's give them the Forest. Okay, so killing Reaper allows us to attack and also deals them 1. I'm fine with that. That was a good draw. Alright, so now we're going to attack and see what they do. Chump blocking at 17 life would be pretty wild. Alright, no chump block, and now we got the ball rolling a little bit here. We had another light up the stage. We're going off Storm Count 2. And a Shock. Okay. So I can play with Shock until my next turn, so I can just cast it on their turn if I want to. I was hitting 2 lands, so it's kind of but I don't think I hate. I don't think we need to. These are so cheap to cast. I don't think there's any rush to play them. You know, we want to try and hide the fact that our opponent's actually at 9 life here. I'm sorry, not 9. At 6 life here. Tapping the Llanowolf? Vivian Reed, sure. Don't really care about Planeswalkers. The only thing that Vivian does is possibly find Jade Light Ranger Wildgrowth Walker.
The wilds are my shield.
That's the only fear we have. Speaking of a devil. That's fine, though. Alright, they can have Swamp. Another Walker available, though, so if his Lightning Strike's going to be kind of important to be able to deal with that. Cast down my creature. Alright. Nice. That is good. So, let's just shock them. Cast light up stage. Our cards are on fire! Firebrand shock? Sure. Play that. Play Firebrand. They're at 12, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So, ideally, our opponent... maybe we should play one of these Skewer the Critics. I don't think we need to, actually. Ideally, our opponent will not play an Explore creature. He probably will, though, realistically. So they go Walker. Right, so they're going to put... Yeah, if they put the Walker in play and they have an Explore creature, that could be bad for us.
Balance comes.
They have a Branch Walker. They don't have enough mana to do everything. They can go Fine Broker, Branch Walker. Oh, God. Don't do it. 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 Alright, so we're going to kill one Wild Growth Walker, and then we're going to hope we can beat the other one, because Wild Growth Walker gains a lot of life. Eight points of burn in our hand. Yeah, Wild Growth Walker's pretty tough to beat. We can sort of see how our hand hasn't played out great. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, now they just get back into their Explore creature and we're dead. We can't win anymore. I guess we can just kill the Walker. Yeah, I mean, we need some help here. Yeah, I mean, Shock's going away anyway, so you want to cast it. They can just get it back with Fine Broker, too. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Not in great shape here. Yeah, we're going to go to the next game. They just have access to Jade Light Ranger again, so... So we can see how the hand didn't play out great. We didn't really have any early pressure aside from our bolts. So that's something else to do damage. And I think that hand was a good lesson. I'm kind of glad we kept it for teaching purposes. Because that's the kind of hand that feels kind of trappy. You know, you need either more, like if we had 2 lands and 5 lava spikes, sure, but 4 lands and 3 lava spikes is just not usually good enough. And without a card like, you know, Lavarunner or Theater of Horrors or Pyromancer or Light Up a Stage or some way to kind of get the ball rolling, it's not really great. So probably should have mulliganed that hand maybe, but I'm kind of glad we kept it for teaching purposes. Hands are great. One of mulligans to 6. Our Wizard's Lightnings look a little awkward here, but we can make them work. Right. So far, our Firebrand's gotten in for 2 damage, which is important. Branchwalker. Okay. We're going to shock the Branchwalker, so the Firebrand can keep getting in. Okay, now they're, that's super annoying. Oh, no, never mind, we were just lightning our lightnings are now on, so we get to play this, and lightning them, and make Lavarunner a 2/2. Get in for the full amount. Puts them at 12. And then we want to hold Wizard's Lightning, I guess just for to have an answer to Wild Growth Walker. I imagine they would have played it on turn 2, but you could Skewer the Critics now. I think I'm fine with that. You know, we draw a 2-mana burn spell next turn. I'll be able to cast everything and kill them. So they kept the Fine Finality. It's pretty interesting. Midnight Reaper. Theater of Horrors. Very interesting. Okay. We could just Lightning the Reaper and attack and deal them 4 total damage, but I think you just play Theater as soon as you draw it every time. The question becomes now, do we want to trade Lavarunner for Reaper? It will still deal them 1 damage, and they'll also draw a card. Or we can wait. I mean, if they go like land Chupacabra, then the runner might not matter anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna attack. Oh, I suppose this just turns off Wizard's Lightning. That's a little worse, but I feel like if they have Chupacabra next turn, it's just kind of devastating for us, so... We'll just cast that, cast Theater of Horrors, and say go. Like right now, we have no creatures that you can actually really remove, or if they've Contempt, also same thing. We're like, what are they going to do? Contempt my Firebrand, like. Branchwalker, it's fine. They get a land. Find back Branchwalker Reaper, sure. Not too worried about that. We're not really playing a card advantage game here, even though we have our engine online. So, Skewer, Blood Crypt. They're at 8. We can put them to 1. It's not really necessary to put them to 1. Just want to keep lightning up for a possible Wild Growth Walker. You could just ding them and cast a Skewer. Like, suppose there is some fear that they play Vivian and kill my Theater, but I don't think that's that bad. Throwing away Firebrand. Yeah, I'm just gonna play Blood Crypt untapped and say go. So we'll just ping him with the Theater. We're not in a huge. Oh, hello. Stay home. You're not going anywhere yet. Much rather have the 1 guaranteed damage whenever I want it than trade with the Branchwalker here. Are not very good against us.
Evil cannot withstand a righteous arm.
Alright, so dink him for 1. I hits Planeswalkers too. Interesting. And they should be dead this turn. Land. Light up a stage. Alright, so we're just going to dink him with the Firebrand and get things going here. We're starting on light up a stage. And yeah, we'll light him up. With a little leftover, you know. So good first win there. I think that the Golgari decks are actually quite good against most aggressive red strategies because of how potent Jade Light Ranger is. So that was a good start. I think the format as a whole gets a lot faster, and the Golgari decks are going to definitely take a pretty big downswing in power level overall. Yeah, this hand's a little too bad. It's close. If we had like a 1-drop or 2, and our Dragonskull Summit was a Blood Crypt, I can see maybe keeping it on the back of Light Up the Stage, but okay. Do not need extra lands, that's for sure. Forest. Sapperling migration. It's kind of annoying. The question is, do we shock a Sapperling to push our Lava Runner through? I think we do. Yeah, we end up just trading 1 for 1 with the card. Oh no, they're not going to do it. Alright, I'm not going to shock and lightning them for 1 extra point of damage. These cards are too versatile. I'm just going to cast the Sovereign's Bite. Alright. That's fine. Blood Crypt. Just gonna bite again. Let's say go. Oops. We gotta draw some spells here for sure. You know, on the mulligan, drawing 4 lands is a little tough, but Vanguard's fine. Alright, yeah, we need to stop drawing lands. Yeah, Tristani's a problem. We get 2 lifelink tokens, which is obviously a huge issue. I think we're... So I think we need to kill them next turn. I think that we need to just like chain some light up the stages and stuff. I'm just gonna shoot them. I was hoping they pay 4 life there, but did not. Because these life linking tokens, this is a pretty aggressive draw, and then turn 5 Tristani on our mulligan on the draw is making life difficult for us. So we gotta get pretty lucky here to win this game. And that is not what we're looking for. Alright. Tough game. So we're gonna want our Chainwhirlers and probably Lava Coils. Don't think you want Spirit. Again, they're not focusing on one singular big thing. They're making a lot of little things, kind of. So we're gonna cut, I think, all of our bites and 1 Wizard's Lightning. You can make an argument that we could cut some of the creatures because they're harder to get through. But we're boarding in the Chainwhirler, and Pyromancer is still worth 2 damage anyway. So I'm fine with it. We're also on the play, so I think this is fine. Guttersnipe's also pretty interesting because they're never going to kill anything. They're playing green-white. They could have a few that convoke Conclave Tribunals, but I'm already bringing in other 3s. So let's see how the next game goes. I may consider bringing Guttersnipe on the draw if I feel like the Pyromancers are never going to get through. Kind of a weird hand, but we're going to keep. Obviously, we have a Swamp and a Chainwhirler, but this hand's got a lot of potential. I'm going to keep. The Swamp is pretty tilting. Surprising how awkward some of these mana bases are, because we're used to trying to play the color cards from Dominaria, and they're hard to play with other basic lands in your deck. For example, Steel Leaf Champion in the fires you have in mind, that was what I wanted to do. But alright, so we could just shock them and light up the stage, set up for next turn. I guess what we're gonna do. It also helps us to. Well, I guess it doesn't help us cast Chainwhirler because we want to cast the spells off light up the stage. I think that's fine. They have a Plains. We do nothing. Yeah, we gotta do something. This doesn't feel great, but shock and light up the stage. Alright, that's fine. Should we deal 2 and do it again next turn? The fear here is they go migration into Loxodon again. Lava Coil. Alright. Our play of this game is kind of predicated on the fact that we can't cast Chainwhirler. If I could have cast Chainwhirler, I would have not done that. I would have just waited for turn 3 to cast Chainwhirler. But we're going to run it back. Yikes. We're in swamp hell right now. So I prefer if it didn't have Loxodon here. Thank God. Card's good. We're going to shock that. Alright, Summit's not bad. We do want to cast the cards we have off light up the stage, and then we can use the Chainwhirler to mop up later. They didn't have Venerated Loxodon last turn. I guess they want to play the Amera first. We can see how our Swamp here is really killing us with Chainwhirler. Obviously, Chainwhirler is a sideboard card, but alright, we're just gonna shock Firebrand. Shock Firebrand. I guess just say go. Just hope for no Loxodon here. Okay. So they get to flip the landing, but I think that's fine. I guess if they have like land Drastani, it's bad. You know, with our Chainwhirler, I'm not like too worried about this. Alright. Maybe we should have stopped them from flipping the landing. We have a Lava Coil also, but if I draw a land here, we're in fine shape. A non-swamp land. Tilt. Alright. This has been a very awkward game. All because of this damn swamp. Like, I really hate that we're not doing anything, you know? That we're only going to Lava Coil this and just say go. We could, like, ping them, light up the stage, and just try and get things rolling a bit, because this Firebrand doesn't really matter that much. I think we're going to do that. Lavarunner, Pyromancer. That's fine. So we get the Lava Coil. That's actually pretty good. We get the Lava Coil, Tristani, and we get to play Lavarunner as a blocker. So like it deters an attack. So as long as I don't have another Tristani, I think we're alright. The next turn we still want to draw land. Works for me. It's a pretty good Chainwhirler. Theory of ours. So we can't cast our Pyromancer, unfortunately. But that's alright. I suppose worse things have happened. Like, I don't think you want Rakdos Guildgate, you know? Whoa, everything's dead. Well, lucky us. Hits don't stop. Like that cool new Chainwhirler animation. This game has turned around nicely. I mean, we're not playing around Side of the Wreckage, so it seems very doubtful they have that. And we have Theater of Horrors if they do anyway, so. Yeah. Alright, so they flooded a bit here at the end, but Chainwhirlers did their work, which is nice. So game 3. I'm honestly pretty interested in these Guttersnipes. Problem is we'll have to cut some wizards, which makes our lightnings worse also. But it's possible we want drill bit too, honestly. Maybe let's change it up a little bit here. Maybe we should cut the wizards lightnings and bring in Guttersnipe and drill bit. Drill bit answers a lot of stuff. Answers Tristani, Loxodon, March of the Multitudes, and Pyromancer. I mean, even the Pyromancer's like never gonna get through. So let's cut like all the Pyromancers and a lightning, and bring in 2 gutter balls and 2 drill bits. That's 59. Maybe at this point, then Sovereign's Bite is just better than Wizard's Lightning? Probably. So obviously we only have 4 wizards in our deck. I think I like this. We're a little clunkier, but again, so far we played against 2 green decks with lots of blockers that gain life. You know, which is definitely probably our worst matchup. So I am happy with this. I think I like Guttersnipe here. I think it's going to play out pretty well. It's a pretty awkward hand. I think we keep. If our Lavarunner hits, we get to light up a stage and find lands. We can just draw lands. We have two draw steps to draw lands. We have basically everything we want. And I don't think this is a great matchup, so I don't mind keeping a slightly risky hand on the draw, especially. We have Shock for a Mera. We have a creature. We have Drill Bit. We have light up a stage. I'm gonna keep. Put him against a 6 also. Okay, that's good for us. Okay. Adonto Vanguard. That's good for us. Okay, so here's its Ack. Light up the stage. Get them chains. Give me them chains. Give me them chains. Looks so cool. Alright, hit a land off this, please. Has no lands at all. That's really bad for us. So we missed. Our top 4 cards weren't land, which is pretty unfortunate. Knight of Autumn. It's pretty good. Top 5 cards aren't lands. It's always something, you know? Alright, well, that's bad. Because our light up a stage is now basically worthless. I don't mind blocking Knight and shooting Vanguard for 4 damage. 4 possible damage. Man, that sucks. I'm gonna block and shoot Vanguard. Just gains 4 life. Killing Vanguard's fine, so we just can't draw lands. Alright, we're coming in. I guess we're just playing Lavarunner, so obviously drawing our Guttersnipe when we don't have lands is bad. But unfortunately they probably have a Tristani in their hand. which is really bad for us. If we had a black, we could cast this, but I mean, these are going to be 2/2s next turn. So if this turn doesn't go great for them, we get to kill something and attack. All right, no Tristani's good. Could be worse. Thank God. All right. Now we get to do stuff. I think we're going to shock this and attack and then drill bit them for one of their last cards. This is a knight, too. You got to watch out for the history. We're paying 2 life for Thoughtseize here, but Conclave Tribunal, March the Multitudes. It's a pretty good end. It's got to be March, I think. We have nothing really worth tribunaling, except for Guttersnipe, but this is not really a Guttersnipe game. So let's take the March. So 11 to 14, they have a Tribunal and some creatures and a land. And we have a Chainwhirler. I think I like attacking, and then we'll just Lightning Strike the Knight of Autumn on their turn. Actually in fine shape here. It's not that bad. I don't mind trading a Lavarunner for a Knight here. Let's attack. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this, honestly. So this is fine. And then I guess we'll just kill this now, because I don't want to like screw up priority or something. Alright, so they have Tribunal and a card, and we have a 2/2 and a handful of spells. Okay, now let's draw a mountain. The Chainwhirler probably draws the Tribunal out. We get to cast Guttersnipe and kill the next turn. So, alright, Baffling End works too, I suppose. Yeah, sure. Give him the old gutter ball. You got 1 turn, opponent. Figure it out, because you are dead. We have 3 lava axes in our hand, kind of. This is a psionic blast, but light him up. Light him up. So that's pretty impressive. We have now beaten 2 green creature decks based around lots of small blockers and life gain, which is probably our worst matchup. So, good start. Good start. I also got stuck on lands that game. I put a mulligan also, and they, their hand was not great, but I'll take it. 2-0. Sure. Kind of weird how a simple little shock does 2 damage, but a literal lightning strike does 3 damage. It's only 1 damage more. Is it guild gain? I'm just gonna light him up and attack. We have 4 shocks here. We're just gonna get the extra point damage in. We're not wanting for shocks, Probably draw a 5th shock next turn. Would prefer if they were lightning bolts. If it was Wizard's Lightning, Wizard's Lightning, Wizard's Lightning, Wizard's Lightning. It'd be a little better, but I do like the clickable things. You can click on the gargoyles and the big dude in the background and the steam vents or whatever here. Bird! Guild Mage's Form. The gate deck is really cool. I played the gate deck on my stream. And, I'm sorry, that's not the gate card I'm thinking of. There's like the reflecting pool for gates that gains 3 life. That card's really good. But I don't know what they're doing here. So, looks like I don't know what they're doing. Light him up. Looks like our opponent's not playing blockers or life gain, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. Two, 4, 6, 8. I think we shock them end step. Try and go for the kill. Again, we still have shocks in our hands. We're not really in a huge rush. They could have like counter spells or removal. Sure, it's fine. And they're negating a shock. We feel pretty good about that. So I'm fine playing Pyromancer here. They could have like a massive removal spell, but it already does the 2, and now they're dead on board. So pretty happy with it. Suppose you make an argument towards waiting, in case they have like some sort of, you know, whatever, kill everything. But yeah, it's a lot easier when your opponent's not playing blockers and gaining life, you know. So they played a negate and an opt. What do we want? I don't know, honestly. It's hard to know exactly what they're doing. Direfleet Daredevil is usually good against the Izzet decks, but we're not really looking to like grind out value, you know. I'm just gonna run it back, I think. Cards like Drill Bit, Banefire, Daredevil, all are maybe what you want, but I just don't think we're really exactly sure what they're doing yet enough to sideboard, and our main deck just seems fine. There's no card. It's not like we're playing Modern and like, you know, we have sideboard cards like Rest in Peace or Stony Silence that are just like, you know, knock it out of the park kind of cards. Like all of our sideboard cards are just like fine. So I don't think running back our main deck is like a huge detriment if we don't know what's going on. Plays. Pretty clean hand. Alright, so it looks like they're playing some sort of like budget E deck. They are 2-0. I mean, the leagues match you based on your record, but I do appreciate the Stone Quarry over the Boros Guildgate. Alright, I mean, this is pretty easy curve out. They could have Deafening Clarion, but nope. Right. Works for me. Okay. We're gonna swing. And if they let us hit them, we're going to light up the stage. If they don't, we're going to lightning them and then light up the stage. Okay. So we're going to cast the Wizard's Lightning and then just set up our light up the stage. Sovereign's Bite, Dragonskull Summit. It's not ideal, but fine. We have 9 points of burn in our hand, and they're at 15. Bird! Oh, you couldn't see it. It's behind my face. Another light up the stage. Light them up. Shock and Skewer the Critics. Alright. I'm pretty happy just skewering some critics here. Everyone's a critic, you know? Alright. I mean, opponent's not really doing anything. So we had 2 very, very difficult first 2 rounds. Looks like we're getting kind of a bye here in the 3rd round. But oh, I didn't cast a shock. Oh, I'm so stupid. It looks like it's in your hand, so I just thought it was in my hand. I'm stupid. All right, whatever. So obviously I should cast a shock that it was going to go away from light up a stage. It was just kind of like here in my hand, and I just didn't process that it was off to the side. It was smoking. I should have noticed that. But, alright, I'm just going to untap. Sure. I'm going to pay 2. So go. So yeah, they should be at 7. I'm an idiot, etc., etc. You are dead. So, no harm, no foul, I guess. It does make me look stupid when I'm saying my opponent's deck doesn't seem super real, but I make a mistake, but whatever. I'm a jerk. Yada, yada, yada. We're 3-0. Just a jerk burn player. Oh, I got some, got a card. The old Beam Splitter Mage. So look like they were playing Jeskai Control, but just didn't have all the good lands and stuff. A little budgety. Let's go, 3-0. Don't imagine there are too many decks in Standard that want to draw first. As someone who thinks that drawing first is definitely an underexplored area of Magic strategy, I've chosen to draw in a Pro Tour. It was a Shards of Alara block constructed Pro Tour in Hawaii. It was the Jund Cascade Pro Tour. I chose to draw. Went 9-1 in Standard. It was definitely correct. It was the Jund Lightning format. So having the extra cards is really important. People say it's, against Death Shadow and in Modern it might be a thing. I chose to draw also in top 8 of an Invitational, playing against my good friend Dan Jessup. I was playing Blue Eye Control. He was playing a very, very slow version of Abzan. And best of 5 match in top 8 of the tournament. And I decided in game 3 that it was correct to draw, which I think it was. So drawing first definitely underexplored, and I take it as a point of pride that I've chosen to draw in these very high stakes scenarios. Literally at a Pro Tour and a top 8 of an Invitational. I think it was correct both times. So pretty cool. Definitely a point of pride in my Magic career. In Limited, you're much more likely to choose to draw. I think drawing in Limited is pretty good in a lot of spots, but in Constructed you don't see it that much, unless your deck is literally like Manaless Dredge, Everyone makes the Super Manaless Dredge joke. Don't be that person. You sit down, win the roll, I'll play, and they say, oh, I guess you're not playing Manaless Dredge. It's played out, it was funny like 4 years ago, it's not funny anymore. It's not funny anymore. And I'm a jerk today. Playing a burn deck makes me a jerk. Alright, so you might just shock the Zealot here. I don't want to trade Pyromancer with the Zealot. Yeah, we're going to shock the Zealot and probably play Pyromancer. Like, we're trading 2 for 2 damage, but we're keeping our creature in play. They have a removal spell. It feels pretty bad, but they did not. I'm going to cast Pyromancer. Worst case scenario here, they have like Ritual of Soot or something, but like if they're playing Duskweed and Zealot, they probably don't. I assume they're probably like an Orzhov, like aristocratic deck. Our hand is 9 points of burn and a Thoughtcast, so it's pretty good. It's hard to overstate how powerful 1 mana, like actual lightning bolts are. Like, these strikes are fine, but they cost 2. But Wizard's Lightning, Light Up the Stage, the Spectacle Lightning Bolt are all just, like, so efficient. Alright, Theater of Horrors is pretty cool. I'm going to take a turn off here to play Theater of Horrors. We could, like, Lightning the Chupacabra, attack, but getting Theater in play ASAP, especially against a deck that probably can't remove it. They could be playing Orzhov, could have Mortify, but I think I'm pretty happy just getting this in play. We're under 0 pressure, and we have plenty of time to play our spells next turn. So, unless they persecute me on red and discard my entire hand, or go Plains Mortify, I'm pretty fine with slowing down a touch for one of our best cards. Sure. Not the end of the world. Having to discard a card is annoying, and then our Wizard's Lightning being a little more expensive is annoying, but all things considered, I'm not too worried. Strike and a strike. Man, we are drawing. We should go play some poker. We just got quads for days. All right, let's we're gonna lightning strike them and cast a light up a stage. Again, another spot where being able to play the cards until your next turn is just phenomenally good. Okay, so we're gonna pitch Wizard's Lightning to the Eldest Reborn. It's our least efficient card. Sure. I'll allow you to take one. I have no problem with that. So I think these sort of like value-y cards like Chupacabra, Eldest Reborn get worse in the new format because I think that format's sped up considerably. That's been my initial impression. The decks just seem a lot faster and better at what they're doing. Midnight Reaper. And next turn they get back a creature. Sovereign's Bite, Shock. So we're going to lose our Wizard's Lightning, unfortunately. Alright, so Theater of Horrors is not exactly Spectacle. It's only on your turns. We can't, like, Firebrand, block, shoot them, strike them. I'm just going to Firebrand them and just bite them. Yes, we lost our Wizard's Lightning there. They're at 5. They get back a creature. We have 8 points of burn in our hand as well as 3 points of burn in our pseudo hand, and we're drawing 2 more cards next turn. So I'm not feeling too worried about this one. I'm not sure what life gain effects there are in black. You got it. Doom Whisperer. Red is usually good against black, just like a standard, like fact of the game. They pay life, we damage them, etc., etc. Alright, so yeah, I mean, they're just dead, so. Okay, so just playing like a mono black, kind of like mid-range deck. I'm not sure what would draw you to play that deck with the new set out. Like, there's so many awesome multicolored cards and stuff, but we'll see. Just playing a lot of the good cards. Just Chupacabra, Midnight Reaper, Eldest Reborn, the usual stuff. As far as sideboarding, honestly, I might just stand pat again. A card like Guttersnipe's not great because they have removal spells. I don't really care about killing their creatures. Lava Coils, whatever. Dire Fleets, whatever. Don't really need to Thoughtseize them, I don't think. The green-white deck had Drastani and March the Multitudes and these like Haymaker cards that are good against us. Doom Whisperers, whatever. We can just race it, I wish to stamp ad again. It feels weird, but just don't think we really want anything. There aren't really any like good black life gain cards. There's a Moment of Craving, I guess. Let's imagine they'll have some of those. But this is a matchup where Theater of Horrors is going to be really, really good. Hopefully we draw Theater. It's possible that it wants a 4th theater in the board, honestly. Theater's just so good. Like, it's just such a good card. Like, the fact that the cards just sit there and persist is awesome. Like, I was a big fan of the card Outpost Siege back in the day. I lost the finals of an open playing Outpost Siege in it was like a red-white deck during that format, which was a lot of like shocks. It's like shocks, lightning strikes, Goblin Masters, 2 drops, and then I was splashing blue for Mantis Rider, and it was just all spells that cost 1 and 2. 4 Mantis Rider, 4 Master, 4 Outpost Siege, and just like felt so good to cast Outpost Siege on 4, and then just cast 2 spells a game for a turn for the rest of the game. And Theater of Horrors, similar effect. The thing is that with Outpost Siege affected your deck building because you had to play cheap cards. Couldn't afford to flip like a 5-drop off of your Outpost Siege and not be able to cast it. And Theater of Horrors is actually a little different because it doesn't require you to play all cheap cards, which I think I'm still kind of like figuring out. Because with Theater, the cards persist anyway. They just sit there. So, alright. Dust Legion Zealot. We're just going to play Pyromancer and say go. No attacks. We can decide next turn if we want to poke off the Zealot and attack or what. You got nice 10 points of burn in hand, so. So they probably have removal here. I mean, if they had a Moment of Craving, I guess I could have drawn it off the Zealot or for their turn. Like, if I Firebrand the Zealot and then Moment of Craving my Pyromancer, that feels pretty bad. Doing nothing also feels pretty bad. Interesting. I might just say go here. I'm in no rush. And if I say go, they moment my Pyromancer, which sucks, but it's fine. We can just chill. I guess we could shock the Zealot and attack, and then if they moment, we still get him for 1. That might be the best option. It feels so bad, but shock this, attack, they moment my Pyromancer, and they go to 15. I guess it's half the shock back already. Alright, fine. This feels so bad, but whatever. Well, they could have Fungal Infection too. That's a card I didn't consider, but now we're locked in because we already shocked. They have nothing. Alright, well, I'm going to Skewer. No, I'm not. Just play Landsego. Leave up Shock. We're not hurting for mana next turn. We have 3 1 mana spells and 4 lands, so we're also not about to kill them. Golden Demise. Oh, okay, that's fine. They did their work. They got him for their damage. Sovereign's Bite. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Alright. And now we're going to pop off. Now we draw like Wizard's Lightning, they're dead. Whereas they wouldn't be if we didn't do that. I mean, feels pretty good here. 23-4 with a shock in our hand. You know, and I don't know how much life gain they have in their deck anyway, so. Again, I think that worst Eldest Reborn of all time. Alright. Give me the old Burnsies. Alright. That's 4-0? So we struggled a little bit against the green decks that have lots of blockers and life gain. Decks that don't have lots of blockers and life gain, and we're rolling pretty good here. Cavalcade of Calamity. Yeah. The motif of the Rakdos cards is pretty cool. Gonna go for that 5-0 here. Of course, thanks for watching. You're watching here on CoolStuffInc.com. I have a video article every Monday, like you're watching right now, as well as a written article every Friday. My article last Friday was all about the 10 new decks I played in the new format. I was part of a special streamer early access event last Wednesday, and I played 10 different new standard decks, all brews, all untested, all highly experimental. And my article on Friday was all about all 10 of those decks. And on an earlier version of this deck was one of them. So check that out, of course. And check out my articles all the time anyway. It's fun. Check out our other fantastic authors as well. We got Jeff Hoagland and Ali Antrazi and others. And, of course, you can use my promo code JIM5 for 5% off your order on Cool Stuff as well, which is pretty great. Highland Lake, much, much better than Is It Guildgate because the art on it is phenomenal. But not as Steam Vents. Not as Steam Vents. Search for Escanta. Okay. I think it's going to be over relatively fast here. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Give him the bite. So far, our Firebrand has gotten in for 2. So if this third point goes through, it was a lightning bolt. I'm happy. I got like land untapped go. We may we're gonna opt. We're gonna end step Wizard's Lightning. We'll see what they do here. We had like Shock Lightning Strike also. We draw a Wizard, then Lightning's, cool, but we only have 8 Wizards in our deck. Chart, of course. So they're probably playing like a Drake's deck. They probably don't have counter spells, which is pretty good. I think these decks get a little worse too because they're just a little slow as far as like time it takes them to set up. All right. I'm gonna Wizard's Lightning. We're obviously gonna draw a Wizard and feel stupid, but I think the 3-drop now is better than a 2-drop and a 1-drop, or a 2-drop and a 2-drop. That's fine too. All right, so let's get in here. They have a shock. Damn it. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. I guess given our hand, we could have maybe just pinged them, but we don't. That's like they haven't had a shock for 3 turns, so this is fine. They probably should have shocked it on our turn. I guess they were playing around like the 2/2 haster, but all right. I think we just resolve our spells right now. Play around Spell Pierce. Next turn we can go shock Skewer, so they can't Spell Pierce us. It's unlikely they have actual hard counters in their deck, but these Drake decks play Spell Pierce sometimes. There you go. Like Crackling Drake Dive Down, I think is not nearly as good in the new format as it was in the old format. Oh, never mind, we're good. Miscounted for a second. Light him up. That card looks cool in the stack, too. Pew! Dead. Feels good. So, Lava Coil does kill Drakes, but I mean, Direfleet Daredevil's usually pretty sweet against these decks. I just don't know what I want to cut. This might not be a Theater of Horrors matchup because they actually can kill us pretty quick. And Daredevil Daredevil's basically a 3-drop, though. They probably have Lava Coils. Being able to Daredevil a Lava Coil onto one of their Drakes is pretty nice. I do just like the idea of killing them, because they probably have dive downs and stuff like that, too. Don't want Banefire, don't want Guttersnipe. Don't want Drill Bit. I don't think it really matters. Mostly just do want Direfleet, Daredevil, or Theater of Horrors. I think it's just... Let's try Direfleet and see how it plays. I'm going to cut the Tooth. I'm going to cut a Theater, and I'm going to cut a Wizard's Lightning, because they're more likely to kill my creatures. So, Wizard's Lightning is the most awkward burn spell in the deck, because it will cost 3 a decent amount of the time if your opponent's killing your creatures. Cooler if Direfleet was a wizard and not a pirate. So, this is the kind of hand, so we saw the hand earlier where we had 4 lands and 3 lava spikes, and I was unhappy with it. This is the opposite. So we have 3 recurring damage sources in our hand, which I'm actually pretty happy with. So this is a hand where I'm much happier keeping the 4 lands, because we have things that can do more than just 3 damage. These are not fixed amounts of damage, these are variable amounts of damage. So I'm going to keep. Hand's not great, but we have 4 points of burn right here, and then 3 creatures. So they could obviously just, shock, kill all of our creatures and stuff, but these are good for at least 4 damage anyway, so it's a good draw. Any non-land was a good draw there, so. So they have an opt. Search for Escanta is not very good against us, so Theater of Horrors is very good. It's an excellent, excellent draw. Gotta keep an eye out for Fiery Cannonade. It's not really a great card against us, but they might have brought it in. So probably just slamming Theater next turn, so we'll see what they do here. Okay. They chose the main phase, which is fine, I guess. No spells in the bin yet. Just get our Theater online. Play a Crackling Drake this turn. It's a little scary, but they did not, thankfully. The Drakes allow them to race us. If the Drake can kill us in 2 turns, while also blocking, it's pretty good. So, alright, they binned a second Discovery, and they kept a card. As long as they don't play a threat this turn, I'm pretty happy. So, their best chance to beat us is just to play a Drake on 4 and attack twice and kill us. Sorry, another dive down. Get a bite. Alright. I kind of like Pyromancer Bite. Try and set up for some hasty Lava Runners next turn. If I go Lava Runner, and then they just, cast another Cannonade, it feels pretty bad, so. Alright, it's a bit of land, flip search. Have Nib visit. Alright. That's not great for us. Wizard's Lightning, Direfleet, Daredevil. Nothing great in their graveyards. The awkward part here is that they only have 1 spell in our graveyard. So our Lava Runners don't have haste. Could just attack. See if they block and we Skewer the Critics, the The Nib Mizzet, it's pretty good, honestly. Like, I don't really mind that. If they don't block, then we get to cast a million spells. I mean, they're gonna untap and do some heinous things to us, but all right. All right. I think we just kill Nib Mizzet with Wizard's Lightning and Skewer the Critics. It sucks, but we have Theater and Nib Mizzet just destroys us, so we'll just give him the 2 cards and the 2 damage. You also get to play 2 Lava Runners post-combat, still have Theater of Horrors, so it's not all bad. Like, we're at 20, they're at 10. They have 6 cards in hand, but we have 2 2/2s, a Theater, and a pretty good card in our hand. Sure. I actually like they play Lava Coil, because now my Daredevil is a Lava Coil. So if they cast a Drake, we can use this to kill it. You usually want to cast your card draw spells before you cast your removal spells. But, sure, it's all fine. We have Theater. If I didn't have Theater, I'd be sad. But because we have Theater, I don't really care about them just trading 1 for 1. Once again, you usually want to cast your card draw spells first, but what am I to say? Firebrand, light up the stage. Alright, so we're just going to Direfleet shock them. And then attack, play Firebrand and attack with it. Nice part here. Both pirates. No fire cannonade for you. Sure. Well, that's scary. We might be dead now. Direfleet, Firebrand. Okay, well, if they have a dive, they already started like a million dive downs. If they have a dive down, then we're just dead. But if they don't have a dive down, I think we're fine. We should have to ping them, cast Direfleet, Lava Coil something. If they have a Spell Pierce, I mean, we can't really afford to play around stuff. We're dead on board. So they have 2 dive downs in their graveyard. Just shoot them, get back Direfleet, Lava Coil a creature, and hope they don't kill us. Direfleet's been good this game so far. We hit the Crackling Drake, because it is the bigger one. Sweet. And now I'm feeling pretty good. You know, they have the ability to one-shot us, feels pretty bad, but this Drake is not killing us next turn, and we have tons of gas. And if it attacks, it can't block, obviously, so we're seeing a lot of cards next turn. Between Theater, light up the stage. Sure. Sure. They're not dead yet, but they're pretty close to being dead. This is 3 damage. We need 1 bolt, basically. They didn't bin anything? That's bad for us. Ugh, that's really bad for us. Alright. That cuts our outs down a little bit. Light up a stage, Skewer the Critics. Alright, well, let's see what these light up the stages can do. We need 2 damage off of a lot of cards. That's 1. We are running out of mana, though. Alright, yeah, we just need to draw some sort of lightning bolt effect off this light up the stage, or we're dead. Yeah, alright. We need Shock. Is it really just Shock or Skewer the Critics? That kind of sucks. We're 1 short of our Firebrand being good. That sucks. We did it! We're the best! That was pretty lucky, I'm not gonna lie. We were drawing a little thin there. But hey, we'll take it. Alright? We'll take it. Victory. Get a card. And claim our prize. 5-0. What do we got here? Don't you get a mythic for going 5-0? Fleet Swallower. Profane Procession. A card that gets better with Orzhov being legal, but alright, so not exactly the most exciting cards, but hey, works for me. So, overall, I think that these Spectacle cards are busted. I think that this deck is really, really good. It's fast, it's powerful, it's efficient, it's a really good week 1 deck. And I think that the Spectacle mechanic is just phenomenal. Theater of Horrors is great. Skewer the Critics is great. Light Up the Stage is great. And this is a real burn deck. This is not a red deck. This is not, a Steamkin Experimental Frenzy deck. This is not, or Kindling Phoenix, Glorybringer deck. This is a freaking burn deck. And you want to throw spells upstairs. That's what this deck does very, very well. So, deck's great. I would definitely check it out as far as, looking at new standards. It's pretty cheap to build, too. I mean, God, this deck's going to be everywhere on Arena. There's only 3 rares in the deck, besides the lands. And Sideboard's got a couple more rares, and there's no mythics. Wow. This is a cheap one, too. So, given how cheap this deck is, I would not be surprised if this deck is everywhere on Arena and in real life at FNMs and stuff in the next few weeks. So make sure you get ahead of the curve here, all right? So, thanks for watching. Happy to have you here on CoolStuffInc.com. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you go over to the actual CoolStuffInc website. Check out the articles. Check out all this cool stuff they have there. And use my promo code JIM5 for 5% off. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, or even if you're not watching on YouTube, make sure you hop over to their YouTube and subscribe to their channel for more great videos by me and, of course, other people as well. And I'll see you guys next time, all right? So good luck in your Ravnica Allegiance Standard. And this is a really good place to start. Upstairs. Have a good one, guys.